We've got a bad one today. So today did not go super well for Bitcoin or the miners. MicroStrategy kicked me out of my trade. We're going to talk about a few of these things right now. So first of all, we're going to start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's not looking bad actually right now. You can see on the volume oscillator here, we do have volume is still growing, even though we came down 1.59%, which is not very much right now on Bitcoin. We were kind of expecting it as it hit the top of the ATR band here that it would potentially come down a little bit, possibly testing the 5-day down here at 62 before moving on up again. As long as we hold above that area, like as long as we don't really go back below $60,000, this really isn't a big concern overall. It's just a minor pullback likely. MicroStrategy did kick me out of my trade. I had it, my stop loss was at 1562 after it got up to almost $1,700. So I gave it a little over $100 to run back down on me before kicking me out. So it did do that. Now, MicroStrategy, I don't love the current candles forming here. Now, we are finally getting a green one today on the volume here. This the red KD Vespa volume oscillator there. We're finally getting a green day on it, even though it's coming down here. But what I don't like is this 3 candle formation right here. I'm not a fan of that on MicroStrategy for the short term. I would be looking at this to come back down to maybe 1467, which would be the yellow part, the yellow line on the ATRs here. Maybe even all the way back down to about 1400 or just under around 13. Not there. Let's see, about maybe, yeah, about right there, maybe about 1300-ish here on MicroStrategy if things continue to cool off over the next few days. So that's what I'm looking at there. Pretty much everything's cooling off today. Even like big stocks are cooling off too. So CleanSpark, very disappointing today, actually. Super disappointing. Did it go back to being 19? No, it did not. It's at 1820 right now, so that's not good. So you can see here the candle, yeah, it's feeding right into it, coming right back down. And I'll show you a perfect example a little bit later of a blow off top that we're going to see on one of the miners here today. But this is, again, it's CleanSpark came right up to the top of this area, which is, about, say, about 2071 to about here. This range right here came into this range right here between 2071-ish and and $20. And then it failed and came right back down to 18. I was thinking I would short this thing down to $18, $17 if it showed weakness, but it just did it so fast I didn't even have a chance to do that. So interesting. If we get a close below $18 today, I would be looking for it to come back to maybe $15, $16 again, at which point I think I will, near the end of the day today, if it looks like it's going to close under 18, I might consider selling some covered calls off of my shares at about $20. Which, and I'd sell it out maybe a month or so. And then as soon as price gets back down to even like $16, I'd be looking to take profit on those. And hopefully not get turned around on in here immediately and thrown back out. But usually, as we've seen before, once it closes once it closes and then opens again under $18, we've been seeing it come all the way back down to 15 every time it's done that. So it looks like we're possibly stuck in that trend right now. But here's something I want to show you. We come down to Heikin-Ashi candles. So if you go on TradingView up here next to the time intervals, right next to that is the candle types. And you can choose Heikin-Ashis near the bottom there. Now, what do we notice about this chart here specifically for CleanSpark? And this is the daily chart, by the way. As soon as we get a Heikin-Ashi candle that is red, that move is over. The move is over. See, it happened, not this one. That one actually went up a little bit higher. But in 2024 February, we got a red one. We went from 20 all the way down to 15. We came up again, back up to 21, got a red one all the way back down to 15. This time we went up to 25 almost, got a red candle Heikin-Ashi all the way down to 13 that time. Then again in April, up to 20, up to 21, all the way back down to 15 as soon as we got a red one. So as soon as we get a red candle on this, so if you're looking at the Heikin-Ashi, as soon as we get a red candle on here, I'll be calling a top back down to $15 at least. So I'm watching that on the Heikin-Ashi. Now, if we drill down a little bit further on CleanSpark, if you go down to the 4-hour, it works very similarly as well. As soon as we get a red one, it looks like as soon as we get a red one on the 4-hour, we're likely to be coming back down towards about that $15 level. And right now, we've got about 40 more minutes left on this, but right now, Heikin-Ashi candles on the 4-hour are currently red, which to me says that we could be finding ourselves closing and then opening under 18 soon, and potentially finding ourselves back at 15 in a couple of days. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen right now, and I'm not saying that that is happening right now, but the pattern has appeared multiple times. Let's see. It's done it 1, 2, 3, 4. Missed it right there. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of the last 10 times, it's done it 9 times that we've seen the red candle come in on the 4-hour Heikin-Ashi. We've gone back down to about that $15 level. Out of the last 10 times, it's done it 9 out of the 10 times. Is this time going to be different? I don't know. I haven't sold anything, by the way. Sold nothing of my CleanSpark yet. I am still holding my CleanSpark. I still have much higher hopes for CleanSpark, but I do think we're continuing to be diluted at that $20 level. And of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I have been looking at the SEC filings. No 144s have been coming through in the last few days for CleanSpark. So this is either intense selling coming through maybe off of some of the institutional buyers, or it's dilution. Because the institutions are up more than 100% on this position right now. Most of them are positioned down at $9. So they're up over 100%. They could be taking profit. We could be getting diluted, just like we have been getting done, just like has been getting done since the beginning of the year. Every time we get over $20, we've been getting diluted by CleanSpark because they have that huge ATM. It was like $1 billion worth of ATM that they could dilute this thing. So we'll know if we've been diluted, honestly, if you see the market cap stay roughly the same, but the price is falling. So we'll know that when that happens. And that's CleanSpark right now, though. So we're looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles, and we're looking for a red one. We see a red one. I think we're going to be considering that we could potentially be in some trouble if we get a red one on the Heikin-Ashi, which we will know in about 40 minutes on the 4-hour. Or if you want to wait till the end of the day and wait for tomorrow to open up and see if that one is red or not. Well, let's look. On June 20th, we had a green one. June 21st, we had a red one for Heikin-Ashi. Let's go look at the 4-hour. So the June 20th, right? 20th, and then it opened up the next day. No, the end of the day, the very end of the day, the last candle of the day, we ended up with a red Heikin-Ashi on the June 20th, and then the 21st, we just fell, all the way down to 15.79, came back up to about 18, failed, came all the way back down to under $15 from there. So that's what we're looking at. That's what I'm watching right now for CleanSpark to know if we are going to be coming down further. Now, let's take a look at regular candles here, and let's go move over to Mara. I'm very glad I sold my calls off of Mara because it is coming down again now, and it is down 8.65%. We are still seeing green on the volume, though. RSI is coming back to a nice place, so this could bounce here. It could potentially bounce here. I'm thinking we're probably, if we get a closure underneath 24.20, I'm looking at coming all the way back down to about 22.75-ish on this thing. If we get a close under 20, what did I say? 24.20? Yeah, 24.20. Yeah, on the daily, we're down 8.79%. Let me turn on an indicator, see what we got going here. Yeah, we're just at the top of the ATR. The mid band for the ATR is down at 21.49. The 5-day moving average is all the way down at 23.10. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back down to about 22.75 before we carried on with this move right now for Marathon. And that is kind of a key area I'm looking at, that the top of this previous shelf, which was 23.10. Right, 22.75. I have too many things. 22.75. That was like that previous shelf from before. If we come back below that, then I'd be looking at us coming back down to $20. But otherwise, we're staying above. Now let's look at the Heikin-Ashi on this one. So this one's a little different. Heikin-Ashi on this one's a little different. Like you'll notice, let me turn off the indicator so you can see here on Marathon that it likes to fake you out on the first time around, right? It'll come down, it'll turn red, the Heikin-Ashi will turn red, and it'll come back, almost make a similar high, or in some cases, a slightly higher high, and then come way, way down, right? Just like here, right? Red one, it even did it here on this smaller one right here, right? It came down, gave us a red one, came almost as high, and then back down dramatically. Same thing back here from February, it went up, came down about halfway, and then went all the way up. Like Mara likes to do double tops. You see this on the Heikin-Ashi? It likes to do double tops. So we got one double top, 2, 3, 4, honestly, 5, 6 double tops just on the daily chart. If we go to the 4-hour, which is way more, 6 right there. Yeah, so I'd be looking for price again to be coming to about this 22.75 area, maybe come back up to about 25, 26 bucks, and then come all the way back to $20 if Mara's going to screw us over like that. But we are trading currently above, so this is still bullish. Mara is looking more bullish than CleanSpark right now because Mara It's holding above that 2275 level, which was that higher level that we wanted to break through on Mara. CleanSpark is not holding above that level. It just went up to the $20 level and then failed back down to that 18, which is not what we wanted to see on CleanSpark. So I do think CleanSpark is in greater trouble than Marathon Digital. So let's go down, drill down to the 4-hour on this thing. Yeah, and you can see there's way more of those little double tops in here. So yeah, we've got them all over the place. It also likes double bottoms, you'll notice too. But anyways, you'll also notice on the 4-hour, once we get a green one on the Heikin-Ashi for Mara, that's usually a bottom. Once we see a green on the Heikin-Ashi, that's kind of a bottom area for Marathon Digital. And then we're going to move up. Maybe not like super dramatically, like in some of these cases, we moved up, we moved up just from like 1980 to $20, but there we go. We went up, 40%? Yeah, 30, 40%. I mean, that's pretty sweet, actually. I shouldn't complain about that. Anyways, Heikin-Ashi on Mara still green. Let's go back to regular candles and let's take a look at Bitfarms real quick. And then I'm going to show you some that are a little concerning. Bitfarms, let's see, 4 hours. Let's go back to 1 day. I don't like this candle here for Bitfarms. This does look a little blow off toppy. It's not as bad as some others that we're going to see later here, but I do want to see it stay above this yellow line. If it breaks that yellow line, I will be looking for it to come back down to like a 250, 260 area on Bitfarms. Now, let's take a look at its Heikin-Ashi, see how it looks on the Heikin-Ashi. Yeah, there we are. All right, Heikin-Ashi for Bitfarms. You'll notice for Bitfarms that usually Heikin-Ashi turning red doesn't always end up being a bad thing. Like sometimes it ends up just being a bull flag, like 1 bull flag there, 2 bull flags there, 3, well, not really 3. Sometimes greens are bear flags too. This one's a little harder. Like it likes to do stair steps, right? Like look at how it likes to do stair steps into like head and shoulders and double tops. So that's what we're looking for right here. And this right here could potentially be a double top sort of area that we might be looking at here. So if we can't get over 329 soon, like in the next 2 weeks, I would be saying that we're going to likely be coming back down to the bottom of this area here, 250. And if that fails, whoo boy, we're going to have some trouble. So let's take a look here. Yeah. I'm not too concerned. It's still green, meaning it could still continue to crawl up. Let's look at the 4-hour for that. It's also still green, could continue to crawl up. And even if we were to see like 1 or 2 red candles on the Heikin-Ashi for the 4-hour, I mean, it could end up just being a bull flag that takes us higher on Bitfarms. It's a little less clear cut than on CleanSpark and on Mara. And you'll see that here on BitDigital as well. Let's go to BitDigital real quick. BitDigital also down dramatically today. It is down. Let's go to the regular candles. We are down 4.48%, holding up a little better than several of the others. We are getting a nice formation in here. I don't hate that. I know it looks similar to the MicroStrategy one, but I don't dislike it here on BitDigital, especially since next week we are looking at the Ethereum ETFs beginning to trade, which means that BitDigital will be getting inflows through that sort of channel because Ethereum will be pumping. And if Ethereum is pumping, then BitDigital will likely be pumping as well. Now, of course, we might get a rocky start like we did with the Bitcoin ETF, but I do think a lot of the selling pressure from the Ethereum ETF was already put in, as we saw from it came down dramatically and it started crawling back up again from that 2,800 level after being announced at about 3,800 for the ETF, so, and we're pretty much back to that same level now. So we might sell off back to like, maybe 3,400 and then crawl up from there if that happens at all. So I'd be looking for a bit of a shakiness over the next week or two. And then once Ethereum starts getting solid inflows, we'll be seeing BitDigital also benefit from that as well. So actually, I don't dislike it here. I don't dislike it. Turn on my indicator here. Yeah, we do have room to run up to about 473 before I'm thinking we're really on a heater here. We are below the red band on the ATRs. We're coming back to the 5-day moving average where we could easily bounce off of that on BitDigital. Let's go to the Heikin-Ashi candles for it. How the Heikin-Ashi candles look at it. So the thing with BitDigital is it likes to see how it prints a red one here on July 3rd and then went up and then printed another one July 10th and then continued to go up. It likes to take red candles as bull flags. It likes to count them as bull flags. So we won't know that this is going to be coming down until we see some sort of formation come out of it. And what sort of formation are we looking for? Honestly, it's hard to tell on BitDigital, but I would be looking for it. Honestly, we won't really know unless it comes back under 360. Like under 360, and then it'll struggle down to $3, and under $3, then we're in real trouble. It's really hard to tell on this one, to be honest. Let me drill down a little further. Not 3 hours, I want 4 hours. Whew. Okay, so on the 4-hour, we did get a red one so far. It is looking red, and it will close red in the next 30 minutes. But as we've seen before, sometimes we get 2, 3 red candles on Heikin-Ashi for Bit Digital before moving up even higher. So I'm not going to be convinced that this one is done. I want to see, yeah, okay, so I want to see a candle close under 375. I want to see a candle close under 375, and then I'll say that Bit Digital might come all the way down to $3 again, and then I'll reassess from there. That's yeah, excuse me. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm not too concerned about this actually, and I would be looking for it to potentially even get caught up as as low as 337 and continue going back up again. So I'd be watching this one close. This one's a lot harder to call than CleanSpark or Mara that have been moving in such tight, predictable ranges for such a long time. Let's take a look at Riot. How is Riot doing today? Right. Riot on the 4-hour Heikin-Ashi, Riot is still printing green. That's good. It is still coming up. It is on the daily. On the daily, we're down 6%. Okay, doesn't look great. I don't love that candle, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As long as we're above 1141 on Riot, I'm really not too concerned about this particular move. Let's look at the indicators here. We are right at the top of the ATR band. Okay, that's great. But we do honestly on the daily chart, we really do have room all the way up to about $20 before things get like really, really dicey for Riot. Excuse me. All right, let's move on to the Heikin-Ashis. See how those things look. The Heikin-Ashi on Riot, very similar to Mara. It likes to do head and shoulders and double tops. All right, where Mara really like the double tops, but you get a couple of double tops on Riot as well, but it also has a head and shoulder thrown in here like Bit Farms. So yeah, it does like to do double tops on you. So it likes to come in, do a little leg down, and then go up slightly higher or like not quite as high and then come down dramatically. If that were to happen now, we would come down to rest at 963 if we were to see that. But we are watching the Heikin-Ashi right now. We want to see it print a red to know that we're in trouble. If it doesn't print a red candle, we're not in trouble. So we're still considering and just waiting for this thing to do that for us. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned. Let's look at the 4-hour for Riot. Even the 4-hour for Riot is green here. So I'm really not concerned about Riot really at all, especially since it's above this resistance back here at 1232 on the Heikin-Ashis. I mean, if it can close above 1257 today, that would be pretty bullish for Riot. It's looking a little more bullish than, let's say, like CleanSpark's candle right now, or even Mara's candle right now. So that's not so bad. Let's move on to, now let me show you IREN. We're going to go to IREN now. IREN is looking a little sketchy. All right, IREN. So IREN, we're at 1126. This is the level of support it must hold. If we get a daily closure below 1126, I am going to be looking for this thing to quickly be coming down to about 967, where I expect weak support, and then potentially all the way to $8 if 967 does not hold. So we have weak support at 967, which could hold this thing up, but I'm not counting on it. I'm looking at $8 for that ultimate support for IREN right now. And this formation here really just, if we get that close under this thing, yeah, that's going to be it. Now, on the opposite end of things, if we get this thing turns around right here, we have a bottom and another bottom, and that looks like what? A double bottom. We get back over $13, we're going back to the highs. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom on IREN, but it is in a very sketchy place where I personally would not be buying it right now. Of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I would be waiting for it to get back over $13 and look for it to move up to $15, $16 right now. But I mean, if you have super conviction and you think that it's not going to drop below 1126 and go back down to that $8 level, or you're just totally okay accumulating here because you know it's going to be higher later, then that's your prerogative. Mine is to wait currently on this thing. Let's move on to the let's look at these. Yeah, and the bottom of ATR band, which we are now below this yellow one, and we've been down here for 3-4 days. Yeah, this is confirmation. We're coming down likely to 947. We're going to come down and touch that bottom ATR, and then we'll see how it interacts with that here once it gets there. That's what I think. If you disagree, go ahead. Let me know in the comments what you think about that, and if you think we're okay. Now, Heikin-Ashis on this have come in red. We got a little green one, and it came red again. Notice how last time we got a couple of red ones turn green, and we went even further down off for the red candles here on the daily chart. So that's something to be aware of in terms of the way it has traded like this before. Yeah, it's done this before. Okay, so it's not always all doom and gloom as soon as it turns red, but this does look like it's forming a double top. Has it done a double top on the daily before? Not really, not really. Usually it comes to like a spike and then comes down. So the fact that this is coming to a daily top, a double top kind of area, and that made a higher high afterwards, that is actually a little bit promising. So let's see, 4 hours. 4 hours. This is looking like a bear flag to me. I'm sorry, but this is looking like a bear flag to me right here. If we get that closure under 1126, right? 1126, 1127, whatever I said. If we get that closure down there, I'm looking at it really to come down to at least 967, maybe lower on this thing. So that's what I'm looking at right now. It is in a precarious spot. Now, if it goes, as I said, if it goes back up above like that $13 level, yeah, we're continuing on, rally on for IREN. But if it closes below that 1127 level, I am looking for it to come down dramatically. Let's move over to CORZ. CORZ just doesn't seem to stop. It just doesn't want to stop. It's kind of at the top of the range right now. I do expect it to come down to the bottom of this range, maybe 1035, maybe 1050-ish right now off of its current movement. The Heikin-Ashi is printing red right now, but as we've seen before, it comes red for a few hours and then goes back up again. Let's look at the daily, see how that looks for CORZ. CORZ is still green on the daily. But if we go to not Heikin-Ashi candles, it's not going to be green. Yeah, it's down 6.5% today. But honestly, it has room all the way down, like I said, to about 1050, and then it could rally from there. So this one is actually in a more solid positioning than IREN currently right now, CORZ. Again, I'm not in CORZ, just to be aware of. I'm not in CORZ. I don't actually plan on getting in CORZ. It just doesn't have enough price history for me to want to jump in. It's a little too risky for me. But you know, it's there. What other ones? What do we want to talk about? WULF. Let's talk about WULF. All right, WULF. WULF is down 9.4%. Let's bring up my indicator here. We are coming down. So yeah, we're going to come down at least to that yellow ATR, which is a 532. We're very likely to come down to that area. This is looking a lot like that MicroStrategy pattern that I don't like. If we close below 572, we're going to come slamming into that yellow line probably pretty quickly, where we may find support. But if we don't find support, we're going to come all the way down to 383 on WULF if we don't find support at that yellow line, which is 532 right now. And that's what I'm looking at for WULF. Now let's go to the Heikin-Ashis and see how that looks. Heikin-Ashi is still printing green though, so that's not bad. We are in the upper half of this. I mean, these are healthy moves. These are healthy moves. If we hold above this yellow line at that yellow line on the ATR bands, if we hold above it, I mean, we'll just continue to make train tracks on the way up here for TeraWulf. So, I mean, don't think that this is all doom and gloom or anything. I don't necessarily think I just needs to hold. That's all. But if we get a green candle afterwards, like see how it came down below it, and then we got a green one, and it came all the way back up to the top of the red one. Watch for that because it's done this before, right? It came down to the yellow, got a green one, right back up to the red, down to the yellow, got a green one, right back up to the red. So I mean, that is perfect. This is exactly the kind of formation you want to see on a growing stock. And I mean, and honestly, we have room all the way down to $4. We have room all the way down to $4, and we're still very, very bullish on TeraWulf. So these are all short-term movements. This is not what I'm thinking long-term. Oh, it's all doom and gloom, but like maybe over the next couple of weeks, it might be a bit rough. And if you get in right now and you're not an experienced trader, you might see a stock fall from $6 to $4 and go, it's all over, and then sell out and lose all your money and watch it go up to $10 the next week. So just something to be aware of. Be aware of that it could go to these levels. Not that it is going to, just that it can easily move to those areas if it gets the right momentum, right? So that's all we're trying to do. Technical analysis is just about where could this go and still be safe? Where could I consider, like, if things start falling apart, where would I want to start buying again? That's all we're doing. That's technical analysis. I mean, that's it. Let's go look at CIFR now. This is the one. Blow off top. CIFR gave us a blow off top. It looks exactly, and even bigger though, exactly like the June 20 candle when I said it was a blow off top. We're getting that exact same candle on CIFR again today. And there was news that CIFR was potentially looking to sell itself, which is probably why we got this blow off top and probably why CIFR is going to come all the way back down to about $5 here real fast. I sold all my CIFR. I had a little bit of CIFR. I sold it all at 678, that area. Like I sold it around like on this candle. I sold it there. Like mid sixes. I sold it. I think it's going to come lower. CIFR did come out with that news today. I'm not going to go link to it right now. Maybe I'll do a thing about it later, but CIFR is looking to sell itself right now. And let's go to so blow off top. That is a blow off top. We can identify this unless in the last couple of hours on the market, this thing runs up and closes over like $7, right? Or just above this blue candle here. No, it's got to close over $7. If it doesn't close over $7, I'm calling this a blow off top. For CIFR. So that is the alarm bells right there. This candle is very much an alarm bells kind of candle. But notice how it went above my little green trend line there. And I said, yeah, it might go over that this time. It did. Look at that. It went way over. It actually went up to $8. $8. It ran this thing ran from $4.69 to $8, almost 100% in 3 days. What a wonderful return. But now it's giving a blow off top. That was your summer run. Anyways, and then it gave the blow off top and now it's coming back down. So let's take a look at Heikin-Ashi's. Heikin-Ashi's still green though. That is surprising. Let's drill down to the 4 hours. I bet you that's not green. It is. Wow. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, usually same thing as on CleanSpark, right? On CIFR, as soon as you get a red Heikin-Ashi, it's coming all the way back down to baseline. red Heikin all the way back down. So it's 1, 2, 3, honestly 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, oh, it's done this like 11 times. Except this one right here. We got a little double top there. So it's done this like 10 times, where as soon as it got a red Heikin, it came all the way back down to baseline, which in this case is this white line down here, which would be like 427. And if they sell themselves, it's going to go to 0. So that's not good. They won't be a company anymore if they sell themselves. I'm going to be turning away from CIFR right now, just given that as a reality. I'm going to be no longer looking at CIFR. But I just wanted to put that in there today, that it was printing a blow off top. Yeah, and we got on the 2 hour, which is also fairly accurate for the Heikin. Once you get a red on the 2 hour, you're likely to come down significantly from there, except for sometimes it creates a little bull flag. But in that case, you can see that that was very much a falling wedge scenario. See how it's like falling wedge and things are getting tighter as it's getting lower, and then it blew up that way. If you see that, yeah, maybe it'll go up higher, but this is not that. This is not that at all. Yeah, we're going to end up with a red one on the 4 hour here in like the next couple of hours. So that's it. That's it for them. I think this is very much a blow off top for CIFR, and that's a textbook version of it. That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what you're looking for when you're looking for a big, scary, terrifying candle, especially this one. Wow, on the 2 hour, wow, that 2 hour candle right here on today that started at 6:30. That we probably opened there. Let me go all the way down to like 5 minutes. Did we open there today? No. In the first half an hour of the day. So we opened up at 666. Ominous. Oh, no, okay, it was 662. We opened up at 662, ran all the way up to 798 within the first half an hour, and then just sold off hard. Yeah, that's absolutely a blow off candle. And if you look at the 2 hours, I mean that's 2 days, the 2 hour, this is what you're looking for right here. This candle from 6:30, 2 hours this morning on CIFR. That is a terrifying candle. That tells you something very, very bad is coming. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and have a profitable day.